Our movie today begins with two friends stranded on the road because of a junk motorcycle they bought online. They had actually ordered a working one, but it barely lasted a few minutes before breaking down. They kept trying to fix it to get it going again, but it kept stalling and wearing them out. While they were struggling, two other guys showed up on another motorcycle and started bothering them, even breaking their mirror. But the motorbike they were riding kept stalling too, so it wasn't helping them much either. A little while later, the police arrived, and the boys thought they had come to help catch the guys who were bothering them. But it turned out the police were actually after them. They had blocked the road several times and nearly caused multiple accidents. The officer kept telling them to pull over, but that's when they realized the bike had no brakes and ended up crashing, sending all of them to the ground. At the police station, the mother of one of the boys showed up and slapped him hard, yelling, "Where were you all night? You and that other boy must have stolen the motorbike you crashed." His friend Sang tried to defend him, saying, "No, Auntie, we're not thieves. Take got scammed online and couldn't return the bike or get his money back." She started beating him again for wasting money meant for tutoring on useless things. He was supposed to take his university entrance exams, but he shocked her by saying, "I've quit school altogether. I'm not taking any tests or studying. We can't even afford college, so why bother?" But not a minute later, he regretted saying that when she gave him a third slap across the face. After leaving the station, Tyke made up his mind to leave home for good. His friend was upset and asked him to stay and look for a job together, but Tyke insisted, "You stay and look. I'm done with this town." He took the first train out, leaving behind his home and his worried mother, who kept calling while he was working to check if he had returned home, but he never answered. As soon as he arrived in Busan, he saw a girl with red hair and said to her, "What is this, America or something?" and started annoying her. She replied, "Looks like you forgot your home training. No problem. I'll raise you from scratch," and hit him before walking away. Later, he went to a restaurant to eat, but the owner looked at him and said, "You're a runaway, right? You look like someone who should be in school." Tyke said, "Runaway? No, I'm not. I just stepped out to get some air." Meanwhile, Sang returned home and found his grandmother sitting alone in the dark. He turned on the light and gave her a bag of her favorite snack, but she didn't recognize him. "Who are you? You look like a drenched chick. Sit for a while, I'll go get you something to eat," she said. The next morning, Taek returned to the restaurant because they were looking for a delivery worker. He asked if the job came with housing, but the owner told him the job wasn't suitable for him, as he wouldn't be able to go home. Taek explained that he had a driver's license, wasn't a runaway, and had just left school and wanted to work. The owner agreed but warned him he'd be working for 3 or 4 months straight without any time off until he proved himself. Taek accepted the job and began exploring the restaurant where he met the chef. The chef treated him like a child and said, "You dropped out before learning manners," then smacked him so hard he passed out. They carried him upstairs to rest. When he woke up, he found himself sleeping between two scary-looking fools. He stayed still until morning. Later, when he tried to sneak away, the chef caught him and said, "I knew it! You're just a street cat who runs whenever he's cornered." Taek replied, "I wasn't running. I was going to the bathroom." Then the three of them went down to work. They taught him how to pack food properly into the delivery box so it wouldn't spill on the street. But the chef kept picking on him for no reason, clearly enjoying it. Meanwhile, Taek's mother was working at another restaurant, complaining about his behavior. Her friend told her, "Just leave him be. If he doesn't learn gently, life will teach him with pain." At the same time, Sang kept searching the local companies for a job every day, but was rejected for being too young. He eventually took a job distributing flyers. That night, Taek returned to the apartment and started provoking the chef, saying, "You caught me off guard last time, but now I'm ready. You won't be able to hit me again." The chef gave him another slap that knocked him out. When he woke up, he freaked out again seeing the chef sleeping with his eyes open. The next day, Tyke got a faraway delivery order with many stairs to climb. When he finally reached the door, he discovered the red-haired girl had ordered the food. "So you thought you could stay in hiding forever?" he said. "I'm not gonna hit you because you're a girl. Actually, maybe I should. You really deserve it." But before he could finish, she beat him up again, leaving him unconscious in the yard. He woke up that evening sunburned and bruised and returned to the restaurant, where the chef laughed at him, saying, "Everyone beats you up. Grow a spine, man." The boss came by to check on him and brought some medicine, but told him, "No pay today. You were missing all day." Later, Sang called Tech, but the chef answered and said, "Your friend's dead. A girl broke his bones." Tech snatched the phone and told him not to answer his calls again. That night, Take tried to write a message to his mom to check on her, but hesitated. The chef told him, "Honestly, you need a proper beating to fix your head. That yellow hair dye must have leaked into your brain." Meanwhile, the red-haired girl returned to her shared apartment, where she lived with two older girls. She found them entertaining men in the house. She said, "I don't like this. Please meet them somewhere else." They insulted her, saying they paid more rent and had the majority. One of the guys tried to hit her, but it turned out she was a skilled boxer. She beat him up easily. The second guy threw a cup at her to distract her, then attacked her with his friend. Their landlady heard the commotion and warned them not to fight or break anything. The girl took the chance to escape into the street, but they chased her. At the same time, Tyke was on the rooftop smoking and chatting with a fellow delivery guy who said he wanted to train to be a chef. The chef interrupted them, complaining about the smoke and threatening to throw them off the roof. Just then, the girl ran by, and Tyke chased her, still thinking of getting revenge. Unaware she was being chased by the two men. When he saw them trying to force her into a car, he stepped in and said, "Come on, she's not all there, but this is too much." They tried to beat him too, but when neighbors started to come out, the men walked away quietly. The restaurant owner let the girl in and suggested taking her to the hospital. She refused, saying she'd be fine in a few days. Take scoffed at her. "You think you're Muhammad Ali just because you can throw a few punches. Not everyone's going to hold back just because you're a girl." She didn't reply, just gave him a side-eye glance, thanked everyone, and left. Over time, Tyke got used to work, and his mother was finally able to buy the shop she'd always dreamed of. But she still wasn't happy, troubled by her son's choices. A month passed, and Tyke received his first paycheck. He decided to take everyone out to dinner, except the chef, who showed up anyway and started eating everything. Tyke told him, "You're paying for yourself, I'm not covering you." While they were eating, the boss asked, "Why don't you visit your mom?" Tyke replied, "We just fight whenever we see each other. Besides, she hasn't called me even once. She's probably enjoying the peace." The chef reminded him the boss was the oldest and should be respected, but Tyke still refused. The chef slapped him and said, "Fine, wait until she dies, then go collect the house and funeral money," and continued eating like nothing happened. Sang, on the other hand, was ruining himself more and more because of gambling. His job involved chasing people around to collect the money they owed. One day, someone finally advised him, "Don't waste your life on gambling, son. Try to find honest work." Meanwhile, on the other side, the slap Tech received from the chef seemed to work. The very next day, he returned to the city to visit his mother and his friend Sang. As soon as Sang saw him, he said, "Quit your job and I'll hook you up at the company I work for." Take scoffed, "You call that a company? It's all a scam." He then went to see his mother. When she saw him standing in front of her, she turned her face away, as if she didn't want to see him. He said, "I'm doing exactly what you wanted. I'm working, supporting myself at a Chinese restaurant. My manager is a good and respectable man." She replied, "But I want you to come home, apply to university, and I'll support you until you graduate. One day, you'll have to work anyway." He became frustrated and said, "Don't force me into studying. I don't want it. And what will I become even if I go to college?" She answered, "You'll become a decent man. "That's all I want." But he still refused and told her, "I'll live the way I want, and you should too. Don't pause your life for me." Before he left, he placed an envelope with his salary on the table and walked away. Back at the restaurant, he clearly looked like he had been crying. The manager asked him, "Did you speak with your mother?" He said, "Yes, I did. Please don't bring up the subject again." Meanwhile, Sang went on his first solo job collecting money. His coworker helped him memorize the lines he was supposed to say. But when he arrived, the man he had to collect from was drunk and in a terrible state. "I've already paid everything. I'm not paying again," the man yelled. Sang tried to explain that he had only paid the interest and still owed half the principal, but the man wouldn't listen and smashed the shop's glass window. Sang's co-worker had to rush him to the hospital immediately. Back at the restaurant, the boss decided to hire Lona to work with them and gave her the room behind the kitchen. Tyke asked, "Why didn't I get that room? My head's been throbbing from all the snoring." The boss replied, "That used to be my daughter's room. I'm giving it to her." Tyke kept talking. "Where is this daughter anyway? I've never seen her." The chef tried to shut him up. After dinner, they all went to a karaoke studio to celebrate the new hire. But Tyke wasn't in the mood. On their way back home, he happened to run into the man who had tried to kidnap Lona and nearly killed him earlier that day. He went up to him and said, "Come down and fight me. I want my revenge." The guy agreed and beat him up yet again. Then the man stormed over to the chef, who had been casually watching and eating chips. The chef coolly replied, "We're not a group," then threw salt into the man's eyes and ran away. Lona jumped in too, hit the guy and ran off. Take followed suit, and the three of them escaped together. Later that night, Take called his friend and found him in the hospital. When he heard what had happened, he got angry. "This job is not for you, and you know it." But Sang was still determined to kill the guy who had beaten him. Take kept trying to talk him out of it. "You're not going to kill anyone. What, you want to go to jail and leave your poor grandmother all alone? Don't do this to yourself. You're a good guy. Find another job and live your life." But Sang didn't want to hear any of it and hung up. The next day, he goes to deliver food to his grandmother. When he arrives, he finds her sitting and cracking hazelnuts like she always used to do. He gets really upset and says, "Leave that stuff alone. How much money does it even bring you? I told you I'd work and earn a lot of money." She replies gently, "All right, son, don't get upset. Come, let's eat together while we wait for your mother to return." But he says, "She's not coming back. Your daughter died 10 years ago." That's when the grandmother starts crying and says, "So that's why I haven't seen her in so long." Then he runs off and finds the man responsible, beating him up. But when the moment came to kill him, he hesitated and couldn't do it. Back at the restaurant, chaos erupted again when those same two punks barged in and started attacking everyone, smashing up the place. The urn containing the manager's daughter's ashes was knocked to the floor. Enraged, the chef emerged and beat them both mercilessly until they were begging for mercy. The police arrived and arrested them. When everyone returned to the restaurant, they each went to their rooms, overwhelmed by sadness and bad memories. Sang, during this time, went to his company and said he couldn't continue this job or make money this way anymore. But he was ridiculed and told, "None of us want to do this either. We're forced to, just to survive." Just then, the gang the chef used to work with showed up and forced him to join them for a job in Seoul. Everyone was upset. The chef said, "What's wrong with you all? I'm not going to die. It's just a small job. I'll be back soon." At the same time, Sang was passing by the shop owned by Take's mother. He found it sealed shut with an official demolition notice scheduled for the next day. He rushed to call Take and scolded him. "You've abandoned your mother and have no idea what's going on. Call her, now!" Take kept calling, but she didn't answer. Back at the restaurant, the boss announced they'd be closing for a week to make some renovations. or maybe completely remodel the place. Tyke saw an opportunity and rushed to check on his mother. Lona asked to go with him. When they arrived, they found Tyke's mother sitting in the shop like nothing was wrong. He told her, "We have to leave before this place collapses on us. Didn't you see the warning outside?" She replied, "You go, I'll take care of things." He got upset. "You make decisions for everything, force me to do things your way, and now you won't let me help with something important like this. You didn't tell me because I'm a failure, right?" She didn't answer. She quietly brought 2 juice boxes for him and Lona so they'd leave. He got even more upset. He left, but Lona told him, "We need to do something. I'll help you. You helped me once, even though you couldn't hurt a fly." Meanwhile, Sang was being forced to go with his crew to a debtor's shop where they beat the man until he was covered in blood. At the same time, Tyke called the chef, asking him to help protect his mother's shop. But the chef told him, "Be a man for once in your life. Stand up for yourself." Soon after, Sang and the crew showed up near the shop. Sang tried to stop them from going in, but they beat him up and barged in anyway, demanding money from Take's mother. That's when Take realized she had taken out a loan to buy the place. They searched the shop and found the envelope Take had given her last month. "So you do have money. Why are you denying it?" But she didn't want to give it to them. "This belongs to my son." She starts arguing with him over the envelope and everyone else tries to snatch it from her. But he beats them all up and yells, "This money isn't yours anymore." Then he walks away. Song ran after him and hit him on the head. That's when Tog's mother stepped in, using her old handball reflexes, and slapped Song so hard he collapsed. She picked up the envelope calmly and said, "Didn't I tell you to leave? I'll pay you on time." Unfortunately, the shop was demolished shortly afterward. It had no license, and even their home was mortgaged and repossessed. But she remained calm. "As long as you're here, I haven't lost anything," she said. They packed their clothes and went to live with Sang and his grandmother. They helped her crack hazelnuts until a week passed and the restaurant reopened. The chef began training Sang to be a chef and fulfill his dream. Lona went back to school, her tuition covered by the boss. And in the end, the message was simple. It's not shameful to lose everything. What's truly shameful is losing yourself down the wrong path and never finding the courage to turn back and start again. That's where the movie ends. If you made it to the end, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next recaps. Peace.